Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the interwebs on your Saturday morning. We are PeakD&D, and this is Livestream Saturday, where we just get a cup of coffee. Hope you have something beverage-wise, and we're just going to sit and chat for a while. Or Nitro Cold Brew. Brought to you by Nitro Cold Brew. PeakD&D. Sponsored. Not yet. So hey, let's everybody say hi. I'm Ben, and I am one fourth of PeakD&D.
One of four, yes. And I'm Tony, also one of fourth of PeakD&D.
I'm Nick, 1/4 ontologically, but about 3/5 in terms of mass.
Yeah.
and I'm Max, and I was like this close to being like, can we? Like, is it cool if I drink a beer on the Saturday morning cartoon live stream? I assume it is.
Of course it is.
Listen, man, your Saturdays are your own.
I mean, my coffee spiked with almond Baileys, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it really?
No, it's not.
That'd be a good plan, though.
Wouldn't want people thinking we're cool.
I know. We
Irish
can't have
coffee.
that. Our charm is that we're not.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna hang out for an hour. If you've got any questions about the channel, us, any of our videos, or D&D in general, throw them in the chat. We'll talk about them. We generally, this sort of replaced our recap series that we were doing for Into the Fae, which by Luke Hart of the DM Lair. If you don't know him, you should get a copy of that. It's a fun module. You can also get late backing on the Lairs and Legends Kickstarter that they just did. Just dropping a plug for Luke because he's good to us. And speaking of Luke, our latest sketch with him, we've been doing some collaborative sketches. Just dropped this week. The Rules Lawyer, part 1 and 2. Part 2 is more of an infomercial than anything, but it was.
I mean, Amber liked it in chat. She said she loved
thanks,
it. Thanks,
Amber. Nice. Yeah. I mean, Tony's wizard cameo in there still to this day. I lose it every time I start looking at it.
I lost motivation this week, but my thought was I'm gonna try to put together maybe like a minute or so of the bloopers of the outtakes. Granted, it's just a lot of laughing off camera, not necessarily on camera, but it's still pretty hilarious. I was gonna put that together. Maybe we throw that out on the YouTubes at some point, maybe as a short or something like that. So,
I think it's a great idea,
because
man.
we had way too much fun.
We had a lot of fun with the Rules Lawyer sketch.
I just want to give like some shout outs.
Please.
First off to you, Tony. I don't know which box you are in where we are.
If you were to point diagonally down to your left. Yeah.
Good job, Tony. No, I really love the way you edited it and the way it feels like the ambulance chasing lawyer commercial. I think you did a really fine job with that. And like, obviously, all of this month's sketches hinge and live and die on your. Wait, where's Nick?
Directly to your left.
On your performance, sir. So
that leaves Ben below you, by the way.
Got it. Oh, cool. So I just wanted to say that to y'all. Like, you guys did a fantastic job with that. So,
well,
thanks, man.
It was so funny. It was like the B-roll cuts, like of because we just were like, Nick, do stuff. And we're like, okay, here, look at this book, like it's a law book, or they're like, or here's a sword, pretend like you're inspecting it or something.
It was great.
It was too much.
It was a lot of
way
fun.
Too much fun. And then we were lighting it because we're our own crew as well. So we were holding the light, and I was holding a light, and Tony was on the camera and was like more towards behind you or something.
Nope, that's exactly what I said.
And it broke me.
You lost it.
I was operating on very little sleep at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just enough, like we had been doing it just long enough that I just lost it for like, I don't know, a solid what felt like 10 minutes, but it was probably 2, but where I just could not stop laughing. I was like crying tears because I was just laughing so hard because it just it didn't make any sense to me at the time. I was like,
Yes.
what?
I mean, that was a bad stage direction, to be fair. Real quick, logistical thing as far as the stream is concerned. Max, I think your camera is slowly dipping.
Oh, it totally is because it's a janky iPod.
So
Or iPad,
so
rather.
we only see your mouth.
Oh, hey, very like Rocky Horror.
Is that better?
That's much better, thank you.
Okay,
I was
cool.
trying to
That's
fix
funny.
it in on my end and like nudge it, but I was like, no, it's the actual camera's just slowly going
just
down.
slowly falling.
But yes,
Cool.
back to my horrible stage direction, but it made for a really fun filming experience.
It sort of set the tone for the rest of the night because
Which then
we would just crack up half like most of the time.
And I do agree. I think my outfit was ridiculous, but I still think that Max's like incomprehensible like hillbilly
Boomhauer hillbilly
was I think the best part in my
It
opinion.
was solid all the way around.
Oh.
Everyone did.
I'm glad too that I was able to get the jump right. It ended up being pretty okay. So
No, I think you did great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I took my motivation from season 2 of Frisky Dingo from Cheryl.
Kick
or Christy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I forget her name, but I realized after the fact, she was like,
Simone.
Her
Her name is
and I
Simone.
totally ripped Simone for that, but it worked.
Well, did you see the flare? Then no, they're not ready.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Those are fun things to do. So it's fun that we get to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we
There's-
just filmed
yeah.
another one. We have another one in the back. It's ready for editing.
Yeah.
I hope
And-
we did.
And we have to write another one.
Yay!
Machine must be fed.
Yes, the machine must be.
Content
Luke
for the
is-
content gods.
I do.
Luke is a
The next one.
taskmaster.
The next one is good. I'm excited for the next one.
I'll be curious again to see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, because we're doing a little more logistics, technical.
Yeah.
We're
It-
raising.
It is a little different. Yeah, like
Yeah.
raising the bar, if you will, as far as cuts and camera and green screen. So we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes.
it's a little more
Maybe.
intense, like tech editing wise, and
Yeah,
Sorry,
So-
Tony.
logistical wise, I think it'll be fine. To be honest, I'm not too worried about it.
No,
That's gonna
yeah.
be great.
It
You'll
should be
do a
okay.
great job, man. I just feel like it's more work.
Yes, but then it'll get easier as it goes. Time goes.
Yeah,
on, so
true
we'll
enough.
see. But
I'm compiling all the footage to give to you, Tony. So I'll have it.
sweet,
I think this weekend I'll finish it up.
sweet.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It'll be
We're
great.
very excited. Any spoilers we can give to our loving fans out there
For the
about
next
what
one,
this one's about?
D&D heaven.
I mean, you're not wrong,
At least part of this.
but you're also not right.
Yeah.
And don't be on devices, kids, when you're playing your games.
It's about judgment.
Also
And-
true.
And yeah.
Ben had the lines on this one, so Ben nailed the lines on this one.
Yeah.
After a few goes at it, sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at
Definitely-
Nick and all of his lines and Rules Lawyer, man. We had to do that a few times, but
He had it.
We did figure out that whole we did figure out that we had
We had the teleprompter.
we had the teleprompter where he looks at Luke, so we kind of
Yeah.
quote unquote cheated that, so then he was able to read his lines a lot more easily. But it worked
Yeah.
out so much better than
And
trying to do it off the cuff.
Yeah. I had for the list part because I have to go down a list of several things
Yeah.
in the next sketch.
Oh, that's right.
I definitely was reading that, and I'm sure that you can see, but that made sense. Like
You were reading
that I could-
regardless, yeah.
it was reading a checklist, you know.
The character was also reading, so.
Yeah.
Yo,
So I
what's
was
up,
like,
Keith
"Meh."
Schaefer?
Hey, Keith.
And Greg's
Thanks
in the
for
chat
stopping
too.
in.
Greg was
Oh,
mentioning
hey.
that Max's camera was going into the oh my territory, but we fixed that problem. So
As again, not only are we our own crew, we also have very sophisticated equipment. So as my iPad was sliding, we got to oh my. I'm sorry, y'all. At least I was wearing pants, so that's cool.
I mean that's true. That
Zoom
is true.
Zoom rules apply still. You don't have to pants
Where
or
are your pants, Barnaby?
Barnaby, where are your pants?
We really got
Uh,
you good pants.
Word.
What's,
I had pants. Master cylinder pants.
Oh man. But we also had an episode come out, 59.
We sure did. Number 59.
Buck
Where-
Nugget, man.
It was, and we met Malachor,
Yep.
lost Malachor.
Yep.
Whoops.
Also true.
That was cold, Nick. That was cold.
Don't touch the giant horrible thing.
I mean, we didn't.
What?
I know.
I'd be
I
curious.
included a helpful illustration of what happens if you touch the giant evil obelisk thing.
Would we have exploded as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That would have been interesting. Would we
I
have
think
had a saving?
If I
throw
show
or
you a
anything?
guy exploding after touching it, I'm just gonna let you explode if you touch it after that. So
Yeah, like some, and he's like not, he's no slouch. You know what I mean? Like that was like a demigod sort of thing.
a pretty powerful fey creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made, like, from his character, what made him think it was okay to touch?
Well, because he's a pretty powerful fey creature who's made out of rocks, whose whole thing is rocks. So he figured touching a rock would probably be okay.
Fair enough.
Like you
It
do.
was wrong.
Done touched. the
Clearly.
wrong-
Dead wrong.
No, I remembered, like, Gord in that moment. I was just like, oh my god, like, he just exploded. Like, this demigod just exploded in front of us. This thing is powerful, and we need to do something about that.
Yeah, it was a little frightening.
It was frightening. Not to
Thunderbolts
mention
and lightning.
not to mention the monster we fought.
Yeah. The monster was, I think, even more gnarly. Were there any of those? I mean, I know this was a minute ago in real life time, Nick. Can you remember, were there any of those eyes that you didn't get to use that you were really excited to use?
No, there were a few different eye powers that he had that we didn't end up using. Yeah, he had stolen the eyes from beholders and basilisks and bodaks and horrible crap like that. I don't think we used the bodak eyes at any point.
Yeah, what are those? I
But
don't
yeah,
even know
that
what
was
those,
just my.
what are those?
Those are-
even
they're
do?
like- Petrification or something? No.
Yeah, bodaks are basically die of massive necrotic damage. So
Ah,
They just sort of, they're like dementors. They like suck your soul out. Right?
kind of. Yeah.
just
kinda.
negative energy
Yeah.
to the max.
Oh,
Crazy.
but I've had a soft spot for bodaks ever since I got grotesquely killed by them in one of my first D&D
Ah,
games.
well, there you go.
In terms of like sitting around a table.
Never
those
forget
things
your
are
never
cool.
forget your first, Nick.
In
No,
the
I
mini,
had, I was so bad when I started out. I had a rogue, and I was doing the check the door for traps thing, and I
As
would
you do.
open the door. This rogue just died constantly, constantly having to be brought back to the Temple of Alanamara to get resurrected. But one time I opened the door, and there were 8 bodaks in the room just hanging out, and they all turned and looked when I opened the door, and
Oh.
then I just made it. I failed one of the 8 fortitude saves and died immediately.
The fact that you only
So-
failed one is impressive.
Or I guess after
Oh,
you
man.
after you fail the first one, you don't need to keep rolling either.
I suppose.
Not
so.
in that edition. I think that they're
Yeah.
slightly reworked in 5e, but that was a 3rd edition game.
yeah.
Make the
Just-
save or just die.
I
Yeah.
keep debating with myself whether or not I should tell you we have about 8 Bodak minis in the
Oh.
collection. So I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm not going to hide them, but I hope you never have to use
I will.
them.
I will not prominently display
That'll
them.
be next
If you
campaign.
have exactly 8, then I kind of want to do a deliberate homage. But
I don't know exactly how many I have. I have more than I have at least 4. I'm
So
pretty
who's
sure.
the rogue character next campaign? Because that's who's.
I don't think I'm gonna write
die.
8 bodaks into the rest of this campaign
Not
just
this
to
one,
have it. But I
but
might
next
do that
one.
in the future.
All
The
right.
next one? Maybe we'll see those in the next campaign.
Yeah, so whoever one of us
Good.
chooses the rogue is where we have to
I-
look out.
I mean, from the way it was shaking out before, like I don't think any of us were choosing rogue,
No, I don't think
Wow.
but I guess
That's
we'll
fine.
see.
But we all have
so.
different
That's gonna be fine.
classes than these 3 characters. I think that's kind of fun. We're switching it up a little
Yeah.
bit. Different party dynamic.
For sure.
Yeah, I almost never like to repeat characters like on the heels of one another,
Oh,
As in, like,
yeah.
mechanically. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I just, like-
obviously the character too, but
doing something
No, it would
different.
have to be a very different idea for the
Yeah.
character.
yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like you could do it with wizards, right? Like if you were a different school or in a different way. But I feel with like lots of other classes, it gets a little bit more
Monotonous.
stifling. Yeah.
Yeah. Like playing a paladin.
I don't
again,
know.
I'd just be doing the same thing I'm doing.
That's a play out of my book, Tony. That I was gonna say, like, I have done several paladins in a row, with some breaks in between. No, that's not true. I did, because I was that half dragon, or a dragonborn paladin in our 5e campaign.
Was that Paylor?
No,
that was I was then a cleric of Paylor in the 3-5 game.
Yeah.
And I think those two things might have been happening simultaneously, or one was right before the other.
that sounds certainly plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the last paladin I played, but a couple campaigns before that, I was a paladin of I don't know, some celestial, I forget. And then but that was with my hammer. That was a 2nd edition game.
Yeah.
So and I didn't
Sure,
at
that
one
sounds
point
good.
yeah, at one point I had just a straight up fighter who was an Earth Genasi. I played him for like 2 sessions. That was crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying, but I like paladins. I play paladins a lot. I feel like I've played a lot of paladins.
I mean, I'm sold after playing Gordon. Paladins are great.
Paladins are pretty dope.
They're definitely awesome to have in a party. I mean, not that I ever stay within 10 feet of you, but
I mean,
I should.
No, they have a lot of
You get
passive
very
boosts, which is great once we're level 8, which we are now. So
yeah.
it's been,
You get very close to things, and I don't like to be close to things, so I don't always stay close.
But it's nice, like I don't know. Well, while we're investigating or like traveling, we're usually in a pack. So when things kind of come up out of nowhere, then you guys get the saving throw bonus and stuff. So
guidance.
No, I mean, like we just got through like 2 or 3 sessions, I think, where I was distinctly not close enough to you and like was stunned for multiple fights.
Well, I kind of unfortunately, but made that tactical decision of I was either going to move in that last fight against the eyes. I was either going to move close to you or behind the guy, so then Grognak could come in and get flanking. And I chose to move behind him.
Yeah,
towards behind him.
Towards behind.
So
him.
Grognak
More towards behind you.
More towards behind the eye monster. And there were eyes back there too. It was nuts. I just kept giving him black eyes.
That thing was gnarly. Is that a real monster, Nick, or is that like a home creation of yours?
That was an original.
Cool.
I just was looking up like different Fey creature legends, and I found like a monster that stole eyes, and I thought, oh hell yeah, and I threw that in there. I think I used something as like the base Cassius for it. I think I like did a spin-off on like a demon. I think like one of the lesser demons. I kind of filed the serial numbers off that, gave it to my powers, and threw that out there. So there's a little peek behind the curtain for you folks in chat.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, no, I thought that was a gnarly fight too. That one. Like,
I love it.
We were very close to not making it out of that one.
Yeah.
It was a good tough fight. I like good tough fights that bring you guys close to the edge of disaster without quite pushing you off.
Yeah.
And
I think we get a couple long rests in the leading up to this finale that we're about to shoot.
That's
over
true.
the next few weeks, but like this is sort of like once we descend into the Fane of Shar, like there's not a whole lot of break time for us to recharge on potions, or like there's no store in Mithranor. You know what I mean?
Ain't no store in Mithranor.
Ain't no store in Mithranor.
No, it is. We are about to like
There's
start
my new number 1 single.
You guys can write your in-universe guidebook.
No, we're about to start the end game, which is pretty cool. I was actually just sitting here thinking, listening to you guys talk about like those last sessions and how Illensworth shook out, and then like the choices I make in the Thane and like what happens after. And I feel like I got frustrated being somewhat useless and feeling somewhat powerless. And maybe that led me to choices, but that's okay. I'm very excited for what is, I think, my most triumphant moment, which is definitely months away in gameplay, but still.
Our folks at home are going to love that.
I really fucking loved that.
Might be the end of July if I have my calendar correct and calling episodes correctly.
All right.
Maybe early August. So not
Okay.
as far off but yeah, it's pretty far.
Yeah.
Well,
As a warlock, I
choice-
strongly encourage those choices that you made with powerful beings.
Well, I'm curious when I'm trying to recall when that first choice was made.
Well, the first there's a dagger.
No, I know, but I'm trying to recall what episode that.
Oh
was in.
yeah, no, I'm curious.
Which
like
could
how
be
long it's...
which could be June, which could be either 60 or 61, because I feel like it's close. Where the
We're
first
in
choice was
June,
made.
baby. It's busting out all over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget how long I know it took us a bit to get into the thing.
Yeah. So maybe it was episode like 62-ish.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I can't remember now, but it was great. I thought it was a great character, like arc choice too. It just made sense to me.
I also am really glad that we chose of the NPCs that could come along.
Also true.
Like someone who worships Shar was invaluable. Like just for lore dumps and general thoughts and like because there's a lot that we're trying to figure out later on in this campaign that we're just like, okay, who is this? Why is that person important? What is okay?
Yeah, and he's kind of got the history of the.
He's like, well, I took in my monk class. We talk about
yeah, it's true.
I wanted to make it so that each of the guys that were willing to go to Mithranor with you contributed assistance with some other thing that was going to happen down the line.
Yeah.
It was a good call bringing Grognak because having a worshiper of Shar to figure out what the hell's going on in the Fane of Shar was probably pretty helpful.
Yeah. I think that was a solid choice.
Do you remember what Immerol, the thief catcher?
Yes, I do.
What would he have helped us with?
So Immerol is kind of an elven scholar. He's a warrior priest of one of the scholar deities, and he would have known a lot about Mithranor, about the stuff that's there, including some stuff that the party doesn't know yet that might be super helpful to know in the climax. But it's fine.
Well, I assume that we're not going to learn those things.
Probably
before the climax happens.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fascinating.
No heads up will happen.
That makes me wonder. This will be a fun conversation for the next or for a live stream in the future because I'll be. I always like to see behind the hood and like all of the contingencies that because I know like you as a storyteller, Nick, and as a dungeon master, like you have lots of different directions and like I know a lot of work goes into those directions and so I always like hearing like, oh, but what if we would have done this?
I love the fact that was he a cleric or like a war cleric or was he like a fighter?
He was a blade singer, a fighter, and I think he was multi-classed. I think he had a couple of cleric levels too.
Oh, so we chose the one person who has no healing spells.
Yes,
just so we're aware, because the other guy was a bard.
That's the D&D way. We don't rest. We don't buy health potions. We don't take the NPCs.
Which is why the Fane of Shar is perfect for us, because we're already prepared to not rest and have any of this stuff.
As I recall in this discussion, Jastian was not fond of taking someone who was equally, possibly more attractive and charming than himself. Sal was off the table.
We don't need 2 charisma builds in this party. Come on, we don't need that. Come on.
We also, he was also like a smuggler, like I don't know, snake-like guy. So he might have ditched out way before where we're at now. He might have just pieced out.
Not outside the realm of possibility.
He might be like, okay, this is enough for me. I helped you to do that, so bye.
Yeah,
I'm gonna head out.
I mean, if we had found like a very large treasure haul, that might have been enough for him to be like, all right, gotta go sell this crap. Bye.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna take all this. You don't get any, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, I guess sort of like so. Before we got on the stream, we were discussing narrative climaxes and like with Shakespearean 5-act structure versus 3-act structure. And Nick, you made a point before we turned the cameras on about how like all of that stuff being decided in hindsight. So similarly, when it's all said and done, maybe you know, Grognak would not have been the best choice, and maybe
Possibly.
like after the climax, we're like, oh man, it would have been cool if we would have brought Emerald, because what he could have done at the very end was would have been way handy.
Yeah. But Nick, you
Well,
didn't want to
We'll
run
just have
three
to find
different.
out what happens.
You didn't want to run 3 different NPCs in combat every time.
No,
Come
no, I
on.
did not.
I think
I
that
don't
would have
want
been a
to, and
fun.
I don't want the people at home to watch me play D&D with myself. That's not fun. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Where Nick
Please.
plays D&D by himself.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I think I was going to say something about that, but now I'm just imagining Nick
Playing D&D
playing
by
D&D
himself?
by himself, naked for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably because he said OnlyFans. Although that's a
Probably.
huge
Also
miss. That's a huge miss.
It's a
only
misrepresentation. Surely.
Yes, it is.
It's not all, you know, for creepsters. Most of it is, but not all of it.
So you're saying PeakD&D should have an OnlyFans? Maybe we should get into that.
I forgot what I was going to say. It's fine. I was thinking about all those different NPCs, and like, it would be a very different campaign if Handsome Sal had been there, or if Immoral had been there. You know,
Absolutely.
for the last, arguably
Yeah.
maybe half of the campaign.
I will say, like, we left on a big cliffhanger, and I have found myself, as we're getting near to play, like, we usually shoot on Mondays, we film on Mondays, and so like as we're about to get back into it, I have been like racking my brain of like, oh, maybe I could do this, and like maybe I could do that, and maybe I could do this. Ben, Tony, have you guys thought at all about the next session? Like, do you think much about the next session when we are in between sessions?
I do a lot. I've also been plotting with Nick to create some really cool scenery for our battles and stuff. So I've been playing with that idea, and I've been sort of like making things on and off. I've been making a lot of things that aren't D&D related for work right now, but
Lame.
I know, right? So I'm like slowly being like, okay, I can do this. I can, if I add the right, you know, piece here. And I think there's going to be some like tactical things that feature in these last few battles that'll be really cool, and like things that I haven't seen before on streams, except maybe like, I don't know, the big boys, but I'm really excited to play on this little jungle gym that we've created.
Sweet.
I'm excited. That'll be fun.
Be really cool.
I mean, I don't know. For me, I going into a fight, I guess I don't really think too much because Gort Smash. So, and I have a few other nods that I can do if we get into trouble. But other than that, like, just kind of like, I'm just like, all right, I need to get in there and be the tank and do as much damage as I can.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely some challenges, I think, with this. I don't want to give anything away, but like
please.
It's going to be a different kind of fight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because of the physical nature of this place we're in.
Hey, Illensworth, give me that broom of flying. I need to get somewhere.
No way. Get your own.
You get your own.
I need to get places.
Jonesing for a chick parm.
To be fair, I mean,
I'm hoping for a well-timed Divine Smite. Always gonna save 1 or 2 spell slots for that, for sure.
Totally.
So,
I guess it's my tactician. My tactician brain.
I don't think that's gonna happen. If I happen to one-shot your dad, I don't think that would just be ridiculous. I don't think it's even in the realm of possibility as far as sheer hit points. So
he's a pretty tough cookie.
Yeah.
He's proven exceptionally elusive this entire time. Like, we can barely land a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question, but it was going to be probably a little too telling. So
yeah, again, like I'm going to enjoy the like behind the hood look of all of this, because like the way that we have gotten to this situation now where like we thought we had him, and then again he escapes, because he always fucking escapes.
Always.
So I'll be curious to hear about his stupid soul collection and blah blah blah, all the things that go into.
Oh
where we
man, I
are.
forgot about that part. Oh, I forgot about it.
No, yeah, that's gonna be
I was so
interesting
mad
too.
when he.
Dude,
when-
I was so
oh,
excited. Yeah, I
so
know.
good. That was such
Yeah.
a good. That hasn't come out yet. It won't come out for a few months. But like that moment when, like,
Yep.
the soul orb came out again. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler, but what happened there was like, no.
It was
And
good. It was like a super good, like you played it really well, Nick, because like, again, I know you like to tug on heartstrings and emotions and all of that, but like we had just got what we assumed was like a high point. We're like, oh, and then like completely took the knees out of us, like from under
the
us.
floor falls out from under us. And we were like, no. Not literally.
That was
didn't literally happen, but
that was a great
figuratively.
moment though.
Yeah, there's a
great
bunch of good
moment.
ones coming up.
I would have to say there's a I don't think it would actually happen, but there is something in Gord's mind that would just like, if we're fighting Lysanthia, which I believe we are, just to like literally sit back and be like, he's gonna run away anyway. We're just gonna have to find him somewhere else. So I'm just not even gonna deal with it.
Gord's a little worked up right now, though.
Oh,
Like, he's
yes, he is.
kind of worked up.
He took a half level in barbarian. that last.
Yeah, he was
right.
He was about to rage
not
quit.
mechanically, but character wise, he has taken at least half a level of barbarian.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we've been given quite the runaround, and there's lots of frustration. So I feel like
that's also an emotion I can pull on.
Funny. And you will pull on it because that's Gord. He's done. He's so done.
It's good. I was thinking
totally
about
that
because of some other things that have happened for Jastian. Like it's going to be a different fight for him too, because he now fights a little differently than he normally would.
I mean, we're all gonna fight differently. That's what's kind of crazy because Ellsworth's got his stuff going on too.
Oh yeah.
We've all a little changed actually through the Feint of Shar.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool to see.
It's great. I think it's awesome the way we all kind of naturally changed our characters in a way that story-wise.
The darkness just creeps in.
No, it's kind of fun. Again, like
we all flip to the dark side at the end. Is that an outcome that this
You tell me.
Are we the bad guys?
Lysanthia, we're gonna join you.
We are not the bad guys yet, at least.
I mean, that's true.
At least I don't think so. That would be
sure you're not bad right now.
A hell of a twist.
You're pretty sure it's wrong to like kill people with a flying city.
I stand by that.
That's wrong.
I stand by
I
that.
think there's a whole lot of moral ambiguity in that.
Yeah.
Unless a well-timed charm person comes in, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, always possible, man. You never know.
I mean, we've all been charmed in that other temple. We all had the runaround of being charmed.
I didn't.
I guess
Nick,
touche.
Y'all did.
I'm curious from like when it comes to the standpoint of running a game and like running sessions, like we are ramping up to a climb. So Monday, it's got like a boss fight, right?
Yeah,
are those like, what are your favorite sessions to run? Are like boss fights, session zeros, something in the middle that is like, what do you
dump?
Yeah. What sessions are your favorite?
Well, fair enough. Like of the stuff I can plan for, I really, really enjoy like climactic encounters, like be they big fights or big conversations. I like stuff where the stakes are high. So those are probably my favorite parts to write. But some of the most the funnest sessions I've ever had are things that I can't plan for. When when the players just get really, really into like a story or a role-playing beat, that's like my favorite thing to be a part of. Like when we're in the zone and we're really having fun with that aspect of things. So I plan for the big ones. Those are my favorite things to plan. My favorite things to just discover are those kind of just like seeing people genuinely invested in the story or in a character. That is always a huge payout for me.
Hashtag face spiders.
Neon face spider Kelly.
It makes sense to me, right? Like, and I know this has come up at least in some of our conversations, and I think it's made it into a D&D ideas, but the idea of like, that's where the novelty is for you as the dungeon master, right? Is in like where we go with it that you couldn't anticipate for. Like all of everything that's about to happen is new to us, right? With the exception of possibly Ben, who has been building things. All right. So like there's a sense of spoilers, but like Tony and I have no idea what's about to happen. So it's all new and novel to us. And because you know what's about to happen as well, Nick, like I guess those moments of novelty are found in those surprising encounters and the directions we take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun not to know things. And and honestly, I think that some DMs don't embrace that. They want to know everything that's going to happen and when it's going to happen because they need to have that level of control. But I enjoy being surprised. I enjoy having to adapt.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I just gotta finish it by Monday. That's what I gotta do. But
yeah,
it'll
fair.
be at
I feel the
a
same way
certain
about the
point.
encounter.
Yes. Yes.
Plenty of time.
It's fine.
Holy mackerel. It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I sure hope so.
I have a question though, but I'll ask Nick on a separate occasion because I have a question about the construction of this.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
The architecture of this thing. I'm like,
Fair enough.
but
Please
I think it'll be
do.
cool. Be dope as hell.
Nick, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm looking forward to playing with you guys again. It's been like 3 weeks because we filmed a sketch. We had a week off.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Which is crazy too when you think about it, like where we left off and how it all shook out.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Been hanging on this cliff for a while.
No doubt. Fingers are tired, man.
Like that little cat poster. Hang in there.
Yeah, totally.
Poor,
I know it
it's like
sounds
Gord.
like a cat
Gord
poster.
just like, we should have a Gord poster. It's just like, hang in there. He's like,
No, we're gonna have a billboard for the thrown shoe.
nice.
There you go. Oh, I just remembered why Gord got so mad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why did I get so mad?
Oh.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's actually like I
I want to
appreciate
give it away.
the
Nope.
parallel that's there too, because in finishing up, like as we approach the climax to Into the Fae, like Gord was in a very similar position.
Mhm.
And
It was
like,
not an intentional parallel, but it
Right.
definitely
Well,
does echo.
Remind me, what happened at the end of Into the Fae? Did I almost take a level in Barbarian?
No, you just got frustrated because somebody stole your carrot hammer.
Oh,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't find it in the
We didn't find
sewers
it.
before.
We found it on the way
Yeah.
out, but not on the way in.
Yeah, I forgot how did you lose it the first time?
They took it.
It was
Someone took it.
Did we get?
Yeah, they beat
Yeah.
you guys all up, and you
And then-
like woke up in a
Oh,
Yeah,
dungeon,
when
and
we
you,
woke up in the dungeon.
when they did
Yeah.
that, they found
were
the giant
separated.
fake killing hammer, and like, ooh, better not.
Right.
Better make sure they don't have this.
And that was like before the cave, like the gnarly slime caves, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Snot
That's when we
cave.
got jumped, right? When you and I had to go like do our rescue mission on Ben because you were about to
Yeah.
be sacrificed.
Yes.
Yeah, I was on the table being cut open.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not unlike another moment that's coming.
Fucking Timmy syrup. I swear to God.
Every cop is crooked.
It's
Hey,
interesting.
man.
Like some
Again,
motifs happening.
yeah, I haven't thought of, again, like hindsight, right? This is all occurring to me in hindsight. There's like, oh yeah, that me being on that table being sacrificed is very similar to something happens later in a different way and for different many very
Mhm.
different reasons, but
Mhm.
sort of like, oh yeah, that is a motif of like a
Good job,
human
Nick.
sacrifice, I guess. I don't know.
Even accidentally. Good job. No, that's why it's why I enjoy the game. Like it
Yeah.
goes to places
Yeah.
that none of us could have individually
you
thought it
never
would.
expect.
Yeah.
It is true. It is true.
Did you expect that Malachor would get exploded?
No.
No, did not see that coming. I was
I
like,
remember,
hey,
I remember watching that back, and I could see like how
Let's talk about
surprised
some
I
episodes
was.
these people have actually seen, maybe.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're not
sorry.
wrong.
I didn't see that
We're
coming
just
at
so
all.
excited.
I thought, oh, awesome, sweet. We have like a in the deep, we have a new ally in the underneath
Yay,
Mithrador. I
you
was like,
made a
huzzah!
friend.
I didn't think it would work, but I didn't think he would die.
Mm.
I thought he'd like try to like get it out and be like, it's stuck, like it's beyond my power, but instead he just touched it and exploded. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
It didn't immediately explode. There were a couple of seconds. He like saw something he thought was beautiful, and then he exploded.
Yeah. No, he didn't immediately explode. He thrummed twice.
Dum, dum.
Overload.
Yeah, no, of course I didn't expect that at all. Like I was like, oh, finally we made another Fey ally. That'll be help in the last battle. Blah blah blah.
Or at least
And,
help, some like small help, big help somewhere. Like we would have, some sort of
Yeah.
favor would have gotten, whether it was the last battle or beforehand.
Oh, he knows where Oberon is, so we can get this stag drunk.
Yeah, we still have to get the stag drunk.
Summer
It makes sense in
wine.
context.
Sure does.
Summer wine and the living is easy.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice. Your daddy is good looking. Your mama's good looking, and your daddy's rich?
Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking.
Summer wine.
I think I'm pretty sure that song is old enough to be copyright free. So
Well, there we go.
I mean, I think it'll be okay, man.
copyright strike.
If
And
the
we just got our
Gershwins,
community tab.
yeah, if the Gershwins come after us, so be it.
So be it.
So yeah, if you haven't noticed, we got a community tab. So if you're subscribed to the channel, by the way, those of us watching this, you'll get updates on our community tab now on your notifications in the
Indeed.
YouTubes. So we'll just send out ridiculous polls for no reason other than for funsies.
Okay, well that could be you, buddy.
Should Gore take a level in Barbarian? Yes or no?
How handsome is Jestian?
How handsome
One,
is Jastian?
2
He's-
handsome. 3 more than handsome. 4 I skipped 2.
You did.
That's the answer. 4 is the answer. I skipped 2. How handsome is Jastian?
Who's
4.
more
I skipped
handsome, Sal or Jastian?
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
Vote
this
now on
didn't
your
help
phones.
anybody. I think
Or
it's like
did it?
chicks, chicks dig scars. So I think that
Does handsome
that's-
Sal have a sweet scar somewhere?
I bet he does. That son of a gun. He's copying my look.
You didn't see one.
Fair.
Ah.
Not on his face.
No.
I
At
imagined
least
him with
not
like
on his face.
immaculately coiffed hair. I don't know why. Like he's a half orc. Typically they like, oftentimes they will shave their heads. But I feel like some of them many of them grow hair and beards and stuff. I feel like
He just has a
this,
sweet faux hawk.
like pompadour. I don't know, like just something immaculate, like a big curl down the front, like a Danny Zuko from Grease type thing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Thanks for swinging by negative space.
Yeah,
Oh, good
I
job.
wasn't-
You all paying attention to comments. I am terrible about that. So
Yeah.
I don't
all
have the
good.
chat up today, so I can't see it. So Nick, you'll have to fill me in.
Yeah, not much has been going on. Princess Fairy came by. Amber is preparing for a TPK most likely today, so we'll see how that goes.
Kill them all,
Nice.
Amber.
Are you running the game? Are you killing everyone, or are you being killed?
I believe Amber is running the game. Yes.
Oh,
I
great.
think Saturdays is when she runs her game, so
Yes.
she tunes into us, which thank you very much, while she waits and prepares.
oh nice.
Show no mercy.
Yeah, especially
Go for
like
the throat.
I am curious, did they do something to deserve this TPK or are they just dumb?
Or it's just
Probably.
how the dice rolled. Is this how?
It could
how
just
it's
be
playing out?
just could be a tough encounter that they're due for.
Yeah.
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 Close. Yeah. Possibly going to be close to a TPK today, is what she said.
Okay.
Eberron
Nice.
campaign. So it's our Eberron campaign. Group level is 8.
Okay.
It's a good level.
More details coming.
Yeah.
Oh, 8's a great level for 5e.
Eight
I'm
Oh
glad-
yeah,
I'm glad-
it's,
I'm glad
it's
we
a
got
level
there.
where you can start taking the gloves off a little bit.
I'm glad. Yes, that's very from the DM's perspective, absolutely, because we get a lot of cool
Yeah.
things come level 8 for many classes.
It's like when things have come together to the point where you can punch above your weight. 8 is about the level where that happens.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, especially just for
You
our
get
group
that-
too, like that paladin having +3 to saving throws. You can, those can be a lot more robust than rather than.
Yeah. The numbers start, really coming together for a lot of characters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fiendish
good.
Dragon Slayer. I love it. Tell us how it goes, Amber.
Ooh.
Yeah, next stream. So 2 weeks, I think. At least that's what I have on my calendar. When you stop by, we'll have to ask you about how that TPK went.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I hope it's glorious. May they die valiantly.
Or may all of them die except for one with like one remaining hit point. And they defeat it, but they're the last one standing.
Well, so of the people on here, so like I haven't been behind the screens as a dungeon master since 2007. So I'm just going to ask this question. And like, I haven't TPK'd anybody at any point, like a party, but like Tony, Ben, and Nick, you will all run games. Have you TPK'd people? And if so, what is the most recent one?
I've been part of a TPK.
Well,
I've not done one. I've not killed everybody. I've not. I don't. Will I ever?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I guess I'll leave the last answer to Nick because he could probably have a lot more stories than either me and Ben. I'm still, as we talked before, level 1-ish, maybe 2 DM. So I'm still getting my feet wet, and I feel like the way my mind goes DMing, I'm more on the player side, I suppose, of kind of wanting them to survive and triumph. So I think I don't shy away from TPK, but I've also never gotten to the point where, to be honest though, there could be a possibility actually, Max, and with our pirate campaign that we had, that we still need to I would love to try to finish at some point. The next thing that you guys were going to do could go in a very not great direction for you guys.
I mean, if I recall, our plan was to storm our fortified, like someone stole our hideout and has been camped out and fortified it, and we were going to try to sneak in and remove them.
Someone stole your NPC guy,
right?
And
but didn't
left.
they go to our hideout, or do we not know where they are?
Oh, yes, you are correct. Now
right. So
yeah.
So like 4 people storming a fortified hideout is not. That's not a great plan.
Not great.
I think that's a great plan.
Yeah. You're not wrong, but also, yeah. See, that's me. My DM lack of expertise with DMing, I guess, is I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I have contingencies of if you guys do that. So
sure.
But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't think you guys would get high on dragon's blood. So
yeah. I will say I did in our Tiamat campaign. I didn't intend it to be that, but I needed to incapacitate the party to get you to another location. And we actually did a very early video about this, Max, that never got released. But it turned into a very bad situation because it was very frustrating for everybody, including me. But I was trying to incapacitate the party by I led you into a trap.
I remember when this was.
Y'all went God willing into it. It was right before the Flying Castle. This was towards the end of the Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Oh,
book.
Was that was just before I turned into a vampire, right? We went to the vampire.
No, that was a while before.
Yeah.
This was you guys were level 9 or 10, maybe 8.
Oh, okay.
And you guys made an ally, and he was like, "Oh, I'm the captain of the guard. I can get back into town, and we can sneak aboard this castle the dragon cult has." And turns out he was actually working for them. And
every
then
cop is dirty.
Yeah, and I showed up with a bunch of half dragon elite leveled NPCs, and the goal being that they would quickly incapacitate you all, and then you would wake up as captives in on the flying castle, which 2 birds, 1 stone, in my opinion. It didn't go that way though, because y'all were fighting smart and playing dirty, and you came to
How dare you
tussle.
How dare you use effective tactics and strategy?
Yeah, so I had to like just keep blasting you guys with cones of cold because I let you defeat one of the characters and I shouldn't have, because it was one of those things that was like, okay, this is an unwinnable scenario because of reasons, which questionable choice top to bottom on my part. Like, should I have done that? Should it just have been like, should I, we talked a little bit about like maybe other things that I could do, but it was 4 hours of combat that was like shouldn't have been
that one. I remember.
And so that was probably the closest I ever came to a TPK, because at some point I was like I'm either going to have to like stop. I was just trying to like get you all down, but there were 7 characters.
We were too big for our britches too. We thought we could win.
Yeah, you guys were. Yeah, and
I always think we can win.
I should have expressed that like these guys. I should have done a better job of showing that these guys were way out of your league, because I sort of made it possibly winnable. Like, because you guys did start winning. So
I have an aside to that, Ben, but Nick, what is your TPK?
I learned
a couple of your TPK stories.
Well, if we're talking about TPKs, of course it does happen. But the last couple of like TPK type things that have happened in my universes have been deliberate in story plot advancing TPKs. The most recent example is I was running a long running campaign. Max, you were part of this one. That I was bringing to a huge multiversal climax turning point. And the keystone of that was this really powerful guy who I just put 1.5 billion numbers on him so that he couldn't be beaten by getting better numbers. That was the conceit of the fight. So I had a couple of moments in the story where a group of characters played by the PCs encounter this guy, don't give him what he wants, and then get their asses kicked, because I'm trying to emphasize the point, like thinking about this in terms of regular D&D of hitting the bad guy until he's dead is not going to be adequate for dealing with this threat. I need you to think about other ways of doing it. And that was, I think, one of the most effective ways. I had this group that I've been playing games with for years and years. They had them all just line up their most powerful characters, send them off against this guy, and just get absolutely wrecked. So that was a deliberate thing. And it's an illustrative point about TPKs is that I have had TPKs before. I've had TPKs I didn't plan before. But I don't think I've ever had a TPK that made either myself or the players uninterested in continuing the story, in continuing the saga of this game, just with these people dead. And a TPK is, honestly, it's an eminently recoverable problem under D&D specifically, just because you can resurrect somebody with nothing more than a fingernail if you really wanted to. So like, even if there's nobody who would do that for the characters who died, hopefully they've made friends along the way. They've made allies. They've made, they've met other people who are characters who are interested in the outcome of their adventures. So, roll with it, man. Find a way to keep the story going. That's my general go-to for that.
The whole, hey, so we're going to go over here. If we don't come back, you should probably go investigate.
I was just thinking about like the hardcore contingency plan of like, all right, here's bits of all of us. Here is enough gold for resurrections. If we're going to check
vials
in,
of blood. Here you go.
Right, no, exactly. Like, we're going to check in, give it to like a paladin, the most trustworthy person you can find, whatever. And like, hey, we're going to check in every month or so. But if we go if it goes a couple years and you don't hear from us, break the glass in case of emergency.
Yes, just find the temple of respawn in your city and leave your stuff there.
Respin, great god.
Yes.
Oh man.
Dorks.
But a lot can happen in the time that, in that month, maybe, so the world's going to continue to spin.
Yeah.
Even if your party dies. So I think that's also a good note to DMs. Like, if you're going to do that and you're going to continue, like, think about the impact that it has on the party. Like, they don't just come back. They don't have all their stuff, like, because that stuff's now the dragon or whatever killed them. Like that belongs with them now because they didn't make it out alive.
No, it's not a load save point. It's you just got resurrected without any of your stuff.
Crawl your way back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like there's a Control Z on a TPK. There's not just a perfect undo this unless you draw the specific card from deck of many things, which literally is that. But no, it's like I've had some DMs who are resistant to like continuing stories after TPKs, because hey, the party died, they failed, that's the canon ending. But it's like it's not, you're not letting them off scot-free if an ally comes to the rescue or if some other thing happens that allows the story to continue. The party still has to rebuild. They still like lose things from that failure. So
wait,
it's
what?
not
They
like
loot the bodies. That's not fair.
Yeah, it's, you're not abolishing consequences if you just allow the characters to come back in some fashion or another.
With all their stuff, nonetheless.
There's a lot of really crappy stuff that dying and losing all your stuff means.
One of my most favorite TPKs that I was a part of, the Dungeon Master handled, I thought, in a really cool way. Instead of, because there wasn't anyone else who, like, normally in a lot of our groups, there's multiple people who want to tell stories. And so when one gets done, like, the next person takes the mantle and so goes the cycle. But in this particular instance, it was a TPK. And instead of picking up, like, the next day with new characters or trying to get the old characters back, it was more like advancing the timeline of the world. I forget if it was 100 years or 150 years.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Essentially, like, hey, these people failed, and now this is your new given circumstances for these new heroes to come up in and try to succeed. And I thought that was a fun way to handle a TPK in the same world.
Yeah, you're trying to stop dystopia, but now dystopia's happened. So
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, Ragnarok happened. Now what?
Now you have to, within that context, that it actually came to be. Now you have to like function in that world and like reverse it.
Yeah,
which is even heftier task than stopping
honestly
it.
that can be a more interesting story. Like there's more adversity to overcome. There's it's not just like the world was fine until one day. This is like, no, the world's because of the decisions of other people
attacked.
And then the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah, and Team Avatar disappeared for 100 years. Picking up.
Precisely.
That would be fun. I would like to see that. I mean, maybe who knows what's going to happen by the time into our world's timeline by the time we start our second campaign.
I guess
I don't know.
This is a question then for Nick, because you spoke about your campaign that I was a part of toward the end. But when all of those people, so when you had your big bad just TPK, like the most powerful characters of your group, would they then would that be like the quote unquote end of that set of characters, and they would build up a new set of characters and find the same big bad guy and get eliminated again? Or like, how many times did that cycle persist?
Yeah, that was that question was sort of handled for me because most of the characters in question were at that point deities. So they reformed on their own a few days later in their own divine realms.
Gotcha.
Except for the one who got the god punched out of him, who went on to become a member of the party that actually went on the adventure. because I let people like pick which of their characters in the many games we played together they wanted to play for that climactic story.
Who got
so that was a way of kind of sidelining some of the more powerful characters that they didn't want to play by also showcasing that, yeah, numbers aren't going to do it.
Yeah. Who got the god? Was it Kaizen that got the god punched out of him?
It was Vantel. It was Aaron's character.
Oh, got you.
Crazy.
I think he got better.
Yeah.
You got
I know,
better.
I didn't put that part of the canon.
Yeah,
Well,
that's crazy.
I do believe our whole hour is just about up. So
We got a whole hour.
We
one of
had
our
a whole
heads are
lot.
going to explode now. So any second now.
Well, it's good times.
Nope.
Indeed. And the TPK talk is good for what might come on Monday. We don't know.
talk.
We don't know.
It's
How-
possible.
it's possible. We don't know what's going to happen.
Some
Yeah.
of my ending branches assume you die in the
We-
attempt of stopping this.
But we will do our darndest not to. That's for sure.
We'll see what happens.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with us for an hour, everybody. I hope you kill your characters and talk about TPKs. Check, like and subscribe,
Good
all
luck,
that
Amber.
good stuff. We appreciate everybody who does here at PeakD&D. It helps us level up as a channel and as people. And we look forward to sharing more of our gameplay adventures with you, along with other videos and stuff coming soon. We'll be back next time. We'll see you then. See you at the peak.
Take care, everyone.
Cheers.